Hi everybody, my name is Sabrina. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching this video. I decided to make a video today about resources to learn Ukrainian. I have been learning Ukrainian myself for the last 2 years now, and I don't really see a lot of people online talking about Ukrainian as a language to learn. It's not a very popular language that people learn in the same way that Spanish or French or Japanese are popular with people, and so I don't hear a lot of resources. I had to do a lot of digging on my own to find resources to learn Ukrainian, and I just wanted to give people who are new to learning Ukrainian or who are interested in learning Ukrainian some ideas on some resources that would be good and kind of what level they're good for. Anywhere from beginner, you're just starting to learn Ukrainian, up until A2, advanced beginner, B1, lower intermediate. Just give the ideas of different resources that, you can use to kind of help with your language learning journey. So hope you guys find this video helpful. If you do, you can click subscribe to my channel. I do plan on talking more about my experience with learning Ukrainian. I also talk about reading. I like to read books. I talk about that, and I also talk about, I am reading the Harry Potter series currently in Ukrainian, and I do plan on talking about my experience with that as well. So if you are interested in any of those future videos, like I said, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. So for today, though, I am going to be talking about, like I said, resources and kind of my experiences with learning the language so far. So I will say one of the big resources I used in the beginning was Duolingo, and I know this is a common thing. A lot of people use Duolingo, and normally I wouldn't say Duolingo is the best resource, especially, like I said, for those bigger languages like Spanish or French. But for Ukrainian, I think it is great because, like I said, there's not a lot of resources for Ukrainian, and it can be a great way to kind of get down that basic beginner vocabulary, as well as to learn the alphabet. So Ukrainian does use the Cyrillic alphabet, which if English is your native language, this is a whole new alphabet. You have to learn completely foreign characters. There are some characters that look like the Latin alphabet but that make different noises. For example, their B makes a V sound. So it is a little bit different. You do have to get used to it, and I do think that this is a must. Unfortunately, I think it can be a little daunting to learn a whole new alphabet, or it sounds daunting, but really it's something I think you can even do within a week. It's really not hard, and I'll be honest, for me it has been the easiest part of learning Ukrainian was learning the alphabet. So if you're not willing to learn the alphabet, then unfortunately I don't think that you're going to be able to really get much farther than that going forward. So I do think it's a requirement. I would definitely recommend, but the good news is that Ukrainian is a very phonetic language. So when you're reading in Ukrainian, the words are pronounced exactly how they're written. So that definitely is a plus, definitely makes it a lot easier once you do learn the alphabet. So it is worth it, and Duolingo is a good resource to help you do this. It is very helpful. They do have like a whole section with just the alphabet where you can get used to the sounds with the letters and all of that. So do recommend checking that out, starting with that. And another resource I found has been very helpful is the Ukrainian Lessons podcast. So you can find it, there's a website, I can link that down below, but you can also find it anywhere where you can find podcasts. I listen to it personally on Spotify. I do have a premium Spotify membership, and I'll be honest, a big reason I got the premium Spotify was solely to listen to this. This has been the sole biggest resource I think so far that I have used to help me learn Ukrainian. So very, very helpful. She does have a premium subscription as well, where you can get Anki flashcards. So this is another app that you can use to learn vocabulary. I think it is very helpful, especially if you do it in tandem with her Ukrainian Lessons podcast. You can learn the words and then listen to the dialogues of people using those words. So you learn the words, you have a familiarity with the words, and then when you hear them spoken in context, it helps them you understand it better, and it also helps you to kind of get used to the spoken word and hearing people speak the language. So I do think that is a good resource, especially for beginners. I would recommend season 1 for around the A1 level, season 2 as well. And another good resource is Verba Language School on YouTube. I have watched a lot of her videos as well. She does have a lot of beginner videos where it has easier vocabulary. She does use something called comprehensible input, where she speaks in Ukrainian, solely in Ukrainian, but does it using very simple language and words that are very understandable. And she does have some videos in English as well, kind of talking about Ukrainian, explaining the grammar and things like that. So that can be a very helpful resource as well, especially in those beginner levels. So I would say, going forward, once you do become a little bit more comfortable with the language, maybe around the A2 level, continuing with Ukrainian Lessons podcast, but maybe the further seasons, season 3, season 4, season 5. She has up to 6 seasons. She's currently making the 6th one right now. So definitely continue with that. She does go from speaking with English to solely, as the seasons progress, only speaking in Ukrainian. So it sounds overwhelming and daunting, but I promise you, if you listen, and don't be afraid to repeat the videos. I've repeated them, I've listened to them so many times, and you will discover that every time you go back and re-listen to these videos, you will hear something or you will catch something new. You'll catch a new word you didn't know before, or you'll understand more bits and pieces. So don't be afraid to repeat these things as well. Repetition is so important. Hearing things multiple times in order to get it to stick is so important in learning a language. So that's a great resource. Continuing with the Anki, those flashcards. And another podcast that's helpful is Slow Ukrainian with Yevhen. He also has podcasts and videos on YouTube where he speaks solely in Ukrainian, but he does it in an understandable way. He uses simple words, he speaks slowly and clearly, and he is a language teacher. He does speak and teach English. He doesn't do that on the podcast, but he does know how to teach a language. So he knows how to make these videos more comprehensible, even though they are solely spoken in Ukrainian. So yeah, I can link below his channel as well, but he has been another great resource for me to learn Ukrainian as well. Once you get a little bit more advanced, maybe around the B1 level, Netflix does have shows in Ukrainian, shows and movies. You can turn on the subtitles. They don't always match, but sometimes it can be, good to kind of have an idea what's going on if you're not understanding it well. But it's a great way to kind of improve your listening skills as well. So they have 13 Reasons Why. They have One Piece. There's a show called Sweet Tooth. Stranger Things. I think there was a movie called Damsel that I watched that was in Ukrainian. There's lots of different shows in Ukrainian. Nature documentaries. So all of these can be a great thing to watch as well. And again, even if you're not understanding a lot, this will improve over time. If you feel like you're having trouble understanding and you're struggling, go back, go listen to those other podcasts again, repeat them, improve. And then, go back later on and try these movies and shows. And I'll tell you, even from personal experience, they do become easier over time. So, if anything feels too challenging and you feel like you're not able to do it, just go back to some of the easier stuff for a while, learn a little bit more vocabulary, become a little bit more comfortable with your listening skills, and then, you can return to that more challenging material later on. Another app that I think is helpful is Clozemaster. So Clozemaster is basically, the whole premise of the app is it will give you a sentence with a missing word, and you have to figure out what the missing word is. So you can have where it will read it to you, and then you can pick the right word to fill into the sentence. So this is a great resource to kind of help expand your vocabulary, especially with seeing words in context. So Anki's not always the greatest just because you're solely memorizing what the word means, but you don't know what the word means in context. Because sometimes words don't have direct translations. Sometimes words are very context dependent. It depends on the context. So Clozemaster can be a great way to see those words in context and kind of get more familiar with those more subtle meanings of words, maybe picking up on the grammar structure of sentences, things like that. So Clozemaster is, unfortunately, you do have to pay for the premium subscription. There is a free version. I don't think the free version is very great. I do use Clozemaster a lot. I'm on it for about 15 to 20 minutes a day, and the free version does not offer very much. I think it can be a great way to see if you like it. I don't recommend buying something without trying it first to make sure you do like it. So if you are interested in Clozemaster and you want to try it, I would recommend you try out the free version first. And then if you do want to buy the premium, you can buy like a lifetime subscription. That's what I did. So it's just a one-time payment, and now I have it for forever. So I do think I've heard people online talking about too. They sometimes have deals around the holidays, around like Thanksgiving, Black Friday sales. So that could be an option too if you feel like it's a little pricey. You can always wait till they have one of those sales. But I do think it has been worth the money I've spent on it. I do use it, like I said, every day. And I feel like it has helped grow my vocabulary quite a bit. I feel like when I first started using it, there were tons of words that I didn't know in a sentence, and now I'm getting whole sentences that I understand completely, or maybe where I just don't understand a word or two here or there. So it is nice to see the progress too, and kind of the progression on your language learning journey with an app like that. So definitely helpful, definitely would recommend. And then once you become more and more advanced, high A1, low B2, just using more native materials. So there is a YouTube channel, you can make a YouTube solely for your Ukrainian, so it only, recommends you Ukrainian videos. There is a channel on YouTube, it's called Один Plus Один. It is it's like a TV, it has TV shows and, news and stuff like that. It's like a TV channel almost. So, it is native content, so it is very challenging. But, once you do feel like you're ready to take that on, or you want to give it a try, that is an option. There's lots of different TV shows on there. I've tried watching Velike Vojke, Žinochi Likar. So, there are some options. They are funny. They are interesting. I do like some of them. So, again, I don't understand a lot, but sometimes, too, it can be kind of rewarding to, pick up which words you can. Even if you're not understanding a lot, go back to some of that easier material, like I said, and then come back, and then just seeing the difference that, that little bit of extra time has made, and how much you've grown in your language learning. So, and then another thing is, reading can be a great way to learn. So I currently bought the Harry Potter series in Ukrainian. I found the whole book series on Amazon. They were having a sale. I didn't end up getting the whole series. They're about $20 a book. I just bought the whole set. And I do plan on reading them. And like I said, even if they are too challenging, I look forward to going back to some of the easier material and then coming back and trying again, So if you feel like something is too challenging or you're not ready for it yet, don't be afraid to give it up for now and come back to it later at a later time, especially because if you do come back to it and it is more enjoyable and you understand more, it's such a rewarding feeling, and it's such a good feeling. Because I did try reading Harry Potter in Ukrainian in the past. I downloaded it on my Kindle, and it was a little too hard. I waited a while. I waited probably 6 months to a year, and I've recently come back to it, and I found that it has been so much easier for me to understand. So I am currently trying to read that in Ukrainian now, and I do kind of plan on talking about my experiences with that as well. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Like I said, when I first started trying to learn Ukrainian, I had to do a lot of research, and I had to do a lot of digging on resources to learn the language because, like I said, not a lot of people talk about it. It's not a common or popular language to learn, but I think it has been so worth it. I love the language. My boyfriend is actually from Ukraine. He does speak English fluently, so it's not like I needed to speak with him. He was born in Ukraine, and he moved here when he was younger, so he's perfectly fluent. He went to school in English, but his parents, he does have some family that does not speak English well, and so that has kind of been my main motivation and reason for learning the language. And I think it's amazing when you truly have a strong motivation, how much that can actually push you to accomplish. I tried learning Spanish in high school, and I feel like I didn't really get very far, but I didn't really have a strong love or motivation to learn the language, at least not in the same way as I do now with Ukrainian. So if this is something that you are truly passionate about and you do really want to learn, you will. You just give it time. Just time, patience, you'll get there. So, дякую за перегляд. цього відео і бажаю вам успіхів. До побачення!